Okay, greetings and welcome to our Sunday night, 23rd of April 2023 live stream. I'd like to start by saying a hello to AJ, Mudlight Digging Up the Thames, and Guidance Code for taking the time to comment in the live chat. If anyone wants to share any info, it's always good to good to hear from you guys. This one maybe slightly more. We're going to be covering a few subjects. The main one today here in the UK, they were supposedly going to test something, and obviously I made a prediction the other week saying it wouldn't happen. No one's phones would be affected, just like the last time they supposedly did one of these demonstrations, which was back in September 2021. They were talking about it, but it never happened, so I said it wasn't going to happen again this time. Bear with me 1 second just while I check the audio and everything's playing okay. Yeah, audio sounds alright my end. Please let me know if it sounds too good or bad. In the pre-show, if you happen to join us, I did invite people to suggest what type of emergency alerts we might be seeing in the coming weeks, years, months, depending on whether or not they do it. And Guidance Code has suggested that another bird flu is going to be making the rounds. I do remember every so often we do hear huge reports about agricultural illnesses that probably cripple a lot of farmers. I have heard about them where they've had to put down cattle, and in which case wouldn't have been any fun for farmers, having to just burn off a load of their stock. Interesting, if the government for whatever reason had an interest in, say, a export company in Europe, and they wanted to kill the production of a particular product in the United Kingdom, such as beef, maybe, just tell them all your cows have got ill, or for example, all the birds are ill, all the chickens need to be slaughtered. Instead, we're going to go and purchase from this place over here. Seems to be how these things work out. I do remember being told by someone, I think they knew a farmer, and supposedly the farmers were all surveyed about 6 months before. I'm not sure if it was the latest BSE or foot and mouth disease. It was one of the big outbreaks, and they were asked, do you think you would have the facilities to destroy your entire herd in the event of an outbreak? And maybe they were instructed to get it ready, and then 6 months later they announced, I believe it was foot and mouth, whichever one was. I think it was probably around 2010. I'm not sure. But yeah, as I say, I did. That possibly is the. Let me bring up. Hang on, where are we? That's not what we wanted. I did make a little cutout of an emergency alert, and I was just going to put some of the ideas that I can imagine we might very well start seeing at some point. Don't be too surprised. I mean, emergency alerts, how long before it just becomes commonplace for your phone to suddenly start receiving notifications to tell you certain things? We'll return back to that. Another one, I predict they're gonna, don't be too surprised if we see them tell us, dedicated space. I did see one that said, warning, Prince Andrew is in the area. I thought it was quite a comical one. And I'm just having a look at the live chat, by the way. Mudlark's sharing some information about a person they've been trying to track down. Sounds like they may have a breakthrough, so glad to hear it. Mudlark's been a regular contributor to the live chat for as long as I've been live streaming, I believe, and has a channel themselves. So I always recommend checking out Mudlark's content. So thanks for sharing the information. Talking about catching up with people from the past, I do remember that video actually that Mudlark put out reminded me that just like someone absolutely head over heels with when I was about 10 or 11 years old. They were in the year below me at school. This young woman, obviously not a woman then, but and then completely forgotten about them, and then 15, 20 years later I found myself sat next to that very person in a training class. It was actually like an ongoing weekly class I had to take, and I got to sit next to them again. Found out they were, maybe I'm judging them harshly, but yeah, they were completely stuck up, absolutely no interest in them, as a grown-up. But yeah, back when I was in school, always used to look out for them in the assemblies, and but as it were. Guidance suggested we might start seeing the bank collapse. Yeah, again. All banks are collapsing. Don't be too surprised one day if who knows if this one comes up on your display. Thanks for contributing that one, Guidance Code. Yeah, Mudlark mentions the alarm. As I said earlier on, I did make a prediction that it wouldn't work. That just like back in September 2021, when they supposedly told us they were going to be testing out an emergency alert, nothing ever happened. And I predicted it was going to be the same this year. This time when they tried it, but I was in a public place at the time. It was a Hungry Horse, if you want to know my exciting Sunday afternoon. I was in a eating establishment, and loads of phones went off. Well, not loads. There was probably about 4 or 5 phones around me that started going off. Myself, I do have... It certainly isn't a modern phone. It's got 4G, but it isn't by any means like a recent phone. Antique, you could call it. And it didn't go off at all. And I didn't deliberately set the... I didn't deliberately switch off, these settings, as you can do that. But I was really glad it didn't. I mean, what a way to let a bunch of liars and deceivers into your life, but to now start messaging you anytime they think it necessary. Of course, the reason what these were supposed to be for is forest fire. Or what else might you hang on. We're bound to see this. Again, I shouldn't make predictions as I'm absolutely terrible at them. But terror alert in your area. I wouldn't be surprised if this pops up once or twice before the month is out. And who knows which else. Also, again, our new king has been, what do they call it? Crowned, I guess. Will they insult us with a message about about the king getting crowned. Hopefully not. But I could easily see this ability, which perhaps the government have had all along. Because I remember back when they first went into lockdown, as I said, I was working at the start of it, and I set out, as I did most mornings, to catch my train, and just as I got out the door, I received a text on my phone reminding me that we're not to go out unless... And while I absolutely didn't listen to it, I did set up... I think our employer printed us off documents in case we were ever stopped and asked. I could show them and say, look, I've got a good reason to be out. I never had to show it, of course, but yeah, getting these alerts on your phone, it does kind of make you feel a bit targeted. I do remember feeling it very... it had a bit of an effect on me in that, although it could well have just been coincidence, I happened to receive one of these texts just when... just when I'd set out the door. Yeah, again, although it's not an emergency alert, they may just start alerting you anytime you set into you are in a designated safe space. And government approved thoughts and opinions are only to be discussed in this area. Apparently there are actually, what they call safe spaces. It's crazy. I don't want anyone to think that this live stream is a designated safe space. I do invite anyone to share any thoughts or opinions or ideas on particularly the mainstream media. We will be looking at a couple of stories that have come to my attention tonight. Greetings to Jeff Gashead and KG. Good to see you in the chat. Thanks very much. I don't want to lose touch with the live chat too much, so apologies if I do. Yeah, emergency alien alert. Wouldn't put it past them. So yeah, the fact my phone didn't receive it, is it because I'm not on the correct... have I not got the correct radios installed, or had I just switched it off? I guess I would have to go and check. Nathan Oakley, good to see you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Yeah, we'll change that to... A lot of people have predicted they will one day do an alien attack. And to be honest, BS19 is, in a way... aliens have landed. We may see it one day, but what they're calling aliens, maybe it's there. Maybe it will be there. Way of letting us all know. Imagine if someone hacked this though and was able to just send out emergency alerts as they wanted. Yeah, Nathan, thank you for reminding people to smash the share button. That is much appreciated. I do certainly invite anyone to hit the thumbs up button. I, of course, make my appeals just before our intermission. But yeah, thank you for the reminder. Okay. Right. We will certainly, if anyone's got any other suggestions... let me see, let me read the chat. Guidance Code says, funny how Elon Musk's rocket blew up and everyone was happy. Good way to let off a bomb mid-air. Yeah, just a giant fireworks display, I think. I assume things are actually going up in the air. I've seen content and footage that doesn't look, it doesn't look particularly... I don't know. I mean, people see these things go off into the air and they also see them come back down again about, I don't know, who knows how, 10 miles down away. So something must be getting let off, I assume. And, greetings to Midnight Scribbler. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Where are we starting with tonight? Yeah, speaking of emergency alerts. What it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if any of you have actually used Twitter recently. I do use it myself, although I was horrified to see, I don't know if horrified is the right word. Let me find it. There was this tweet I saw by Elon Musk. Now, I've never followed Elon Musk. I've never thumbed up or hearted any post Elon Musk has ever made. Yet, that doesn't stop them... Oh. Yeah, that doesn't stop them notifying me anytime he puts out a tweet. And this is proper bot. As in, it almost seems like every single reply to Elon Musk's tweet of checkmate, wherever he would write that, who knows. I am curious. I'm just going to bring it up. Checkmate is a 33 in Pythagorean. What a surprise, eh? What is it in Chaldean? A 32. Maybe just a coincidence, right? Regardless, every single... And one thing I did notice is that all the replies seem to be these blue ticks, which I believe means that someone has paid to have their channel seen underneath Elon Musk's. But as I say, every single reply is something to do with political, like, division. You've got this guy saying you should be in jail for reinstating Trump. You lefties sure want to jail everyone that disagree with you. The next person... Let's see. Oh, hang on. Have I gone past it? Yeah, there were all sorts of these replies, and it just made me think, who's actually arguing about this rubbish? Maybe people are. Perhaps people do get seriously het up and passionate about a guy whose partner looks like a demonic entity, or, well, actually all of their partners seem to... This guy here says, every single American wants you arrested, immediately gets a response from another, or from a blue tick. Actually, that seems to be the pattern. Right, Americans want Sleepy Joe Biden arrested for ruining America. Even though, yeah, look at this guy's account. How many people have to have it written on, I am not a troll? Again, I would be highly suspicious if a lot of these are just bot accounts. As we were talking about, the dead internet. I'm gonna start suing people for defamation if they call me a troll. AI has come on, obviously, leaps and bounds. Who knows? Mudlight says apparently 40% of all human interactions online are actually bots. Yeah, wouldn't be at all surprised to hear that to be the case. And I do actually think it's not just Twitter, it's everywhere. Instagram. So then when the mainstream media report directly on situations happening on these platforms, are they just reporting on the behaviour of bots? Yeah, look at all these blue ticks. Now, if I were to leave a comment on here saying Grimes looks evil, or Grimes looks like a... Would it... I don't know. Okay. It would appear that all the blue ticks seem to get to the top of the list. Yeah, and it's only the blue ticks that seem to get any replies. I don't know. Yeah, like some of these replies, 76,000 views on that one. I don't think every tweet I've ever put out accumulated has even ever had 76,000 views. Yeah, and then the response to Elon Musk's profound tweet, which is forced on me as a user of the platform. I get notified anytime this guy talks rubbish. yeah, then, and that kind of is almost, it ties in for me with an emergency alert. Oh, Elon Musk has just said something on Twitter. We must go and everyone has to know about it. Oh, there was someone actually down here that was mentioning a picture taken by some satellite. I'm not sure if I can find it now. Let me see. I think it was... No. There was definitely a reply to this, and it was saying how, oh, the Telegraph or the New York Times wouldn't let me look at the pictures from the... Was it the sombrero? I'm not sure what it was. It was some image they'd taken, and I think they were a blue tick. Without being verified, I wouldn't be so quick to assume that's even a person. So Sebastian Blue Tick Lefo is suggesting that anyone with a blue tick is probably one of these bots. No, I'm going to say other way round. The blue ticks are probably a good indication of a... I don't know. Make your own judgment on that one. It's nice that Twitter lets petty dictators like you express their hateful opinions. It's all just one big quarrel, it seems. Is that... I have engaged on Twitter with these... I think they call them flame wars. They're such a waste of time. You can waste your entire day arguing with someone on these platforms over meaningless crepe. But that's just how it is. Guidance says emergency alert, £40 shopping limit. Yeah, maybe. Perhaps that is one that we'll put on there. Let me see. Where are we? Can we bring it up? Right. Yeah, your food allowance has dropped 2.1%. Let's see. Yeah, all sorts of messages maybe forced upon us one day. Is this just a start? I know we had the YouTuber Some Girls in the chat the other week pointing out that in the United States these sorts of messages have been coming through for years, so I would be curious. I'm guessing they have been on that subject. Mudlight says, I think all the so-called Jake Quickenden fans who replied to your video about him were bots. How can that many people care about Jake Quickenden? I totally agree. I would say the amount... It was very strange being attacked by Jake's bots. We can easily bring that video up 1 second and I'll show you the type of responses. Actually, yeah, most of them actually came on Twitter. I'm not sure if I would find them now. It's so far back, but they also replied. Hang on 1 sec. I will just find... Let's bring that up. I will just find the video. Is this an example of bots? I'll ask your opinion on that. Right, hang on. We'll get there in a sec. Here we go. Right, we'll have a look at some of the replies that I ended up getting to it. I mean, the coverage he gave it did put it up to, like, yeah, the funniest thing I've seen. This is, now I would personally say this guy himself is probably controlled maybe by a bot, or they've actually got a team of people that do oversee this person's tweets. I'm not sure. But I doubt very much I was actually interacting with anyone that's ever been on television. Like I have time to pretend to have a baby or make CGI babies. You have far too much time on your hands. And yeah, loads of people agreed with him. And now all these responses came in the space of like one day. The Sabbath day, which I broke, and I always go offline from, well, not completely offline, but I don't interact, certainly not on my own channel during the Sabbath. So when I then came back Sunday, boom, gone. No one wanted it. It was no longer being discussed. So yeah, I think you need to see a doctor. So many people were requesting I go and seek professional help. That was a big one. I was convinced the baby was real until the head lifting part. So yeah, some people, of course, Sandy is, I hope Sandy's still tuning into these videos. Be good to know. But yeah, that, if you ever want to watch that video for yourself, you probably have anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised if the majority of these were bots. I mean, that is kind of sad to think that... I mean, I've definitely had videos where I frequently get comments by people just putting some weird link in. Yeah, speaking of... you know, pretend bots, I don't know, people that aren't as they seem. I just want to have a quick look at Robbie Williams. I came across this video. What a clown walking around in a cape. But is that to draw your attention away from his supposed wife? I think the woman you see on the screen here is supposed to be Robbie Williams' wife. Does anyone see a problem with that image? Do I have to point it out? Okay, let's listen to it a minute. It might be music, so yeah, we won't play the music. I hope we can see something slightly off with that image, and I'm not sure if that's the same person. Massive, like, Joker face, Joker smile. Look how big her mouth is compared to Robbie's. Something weird going on with these people, that's for sure. And here's another shot of them in their cape, and yeah, judge for yourself. But yeah, I just saw Robbie and I was absolutely blown away by the masculinity of his wife in that particular image. What a strange guy. Of course, Robbie was another musician that was told to come back and say that he was absolutely obsessed with UFOs. Certainly not the first musician I've heard come out with that line. Guidance says, thanks for letting me comment. Have a good stream. Blessings to the creator. Worship no idol. Protect the children. We'll be back later and share. Stay blessed. Thank you, Guidance. Apologies if I was a bit suspicious of some of your messages, but yeah, thank you for sticking with us. I massively appreciate you contributing to the live chat, so thank you for tuning in. Mudlight, you think his wife is a man? Absolutely the same as what I think. Another one about Meghan here. Oh, actually, yeah, we have got some other news articles. Yeah, so what are we now? 2 weeks away from the coronation. The stories about the royals will be coming, as they always are anyway, thick and fast. Another group of people that I would say are a million miles from what they seem. Just like Robbie's wife, these people are not in the right proportions, as it were. Their Q angles are way off, if you get my drift. Is this just more images of her pregnant? I'm not sure why they're using all this stock footage of her with pregnancy stomachs. Did they make a point of photographing Meghan when she was pregnant just because they wanted us to believe that, well, someone of their proportions could give birth? I'm going to call it out as absolute rubbish. No way. Almost knocked over my can of Coke there. AJ says they admitted to buying their baby, unlike Meg's. Is that Robbie Williams? I'm not actually familiar with their situation of being parents, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Whatever the situation with this, I'm still not 100% convinced we have seen actual babies, actual children. I've never, I don't know at what age children are seen at public events. Supposedly, William and his son were at a football game. So, of course, any crowds at that football game could confirm that there were two people. Maybe, I'm not sure. Although picking out two faces at a football stadium is not the easiest thing. Concern about skin colour. What a lovely subject. Yeah, we will no doubt, as the weeks, over the next couple of weeks, probably come back to these people who, in my opinion, are the furthest thing from legitimate as you could possibly get. Yeah, I saw a cracking video. I say cracking. It was... Yeah, sorry. Onto the royal kids. Apparently, it is the 5th birthday of this boy. The royal couple are delighted to share new pictures to mark Prince Lewis's 5th birthday on April 23rd. There's their numbers. Again, the emergency alert went off on the 23rd. It is today, 23rd of the 4th, 23. So, what a wonderful time. On what would have been the late Queen's 97th birthday. Do they both share the same... Is that what they're saying? Surely Prince Louis doesn't have Queen Elizabeth's birthday. Who knows? The palace released a new picture of the late monarch surrounded by a few of her grandchildren. I bet they were all photoshopped into it, including Louis. The two pictures were taken a few months apart. Show royal fans just how much the young royal has grown. I've got to see it. I've got to see the image of the Queen surrounded by her grandchildren. Yeah, think of the reality of this image. Would you let your child climb into a wheelbarrow full of compost? Think of it, twigs, brambles, all sorts of crap. Okay, maybe if he's wearing, something to protect his legs. No, not Kate Middleton. She lets her son clamber around, brambles, stinging nettles, bird's mess. Yeah, get in there, Louis. You climb around in the compost heap. Look, I think there are actually stinging nettles in that wheelbarrow. How unlikely is this? And this is a typical... Look, I believe that is stinging nettles. Would you let your kid get in a wheelbarrow with that? Who knows? Maybe some psychos do. I would say much more likely that they've just photoshopped the kid into it. Okay, here is the image of the Queen with her grandkids. Let's see if anything stands out as blatantly fake. Anyone guess what will be the first thing I point out about this picture? Can anyone guess where I'll go with it? What will I say about this image? AJ says it's their 3rd baby was born via a surrogate mother. Okay, fair enough. I was not aware of that with Robbie Williams, so thank you for sharing that info. Right, what I always say about images that I believe are usually photoshopped or have that going on is just how rubbish quality it is. If you were taking a picture of your monarch and they were surrounded by all their family, would you not use the absolute best quality camera you can find, knowing that this picture will at some point be worth a fortune? Artists will be, it will, if these are legitimate people, it will go down in the records. No, I'm going to use an image. I'm going to use a camera that produces such rubbish picture quality that you can see when you zoom in close up. Oh, what did I do there? Right. Yeah, just so grainy. I mean, I'm surprised. Yeah, I don't understand that one. I don't understand why they would use such a poor quality camera. That is my question. And of course, they put it out on Instagram. The home of all the fake families seems to be Instagram. That is what I would call Botsville, because I do believe they're all bots. Well, they're all... That's the point. I did have a video I wanted to show. I mean, you've probably all seen it. In fact, give us a sec, and I might not even need to do much to find it. What was it called? It is called Face Dance. There is an app called Face Dance, and the advert they use, I'm sure you've all seen these. You don't really need me you probably don't need me to show them, but just how well they can fake these things. Click to play animation. This isn't actually the one I want to see. I don't want to get the app, but I think it would probably give us more information on it if we did. Yeah, the one I saw was a baby. It was a still picture of a baby that they'd animated to make it look like they were dancing around. But we don't appear to have that. Let's see. Hang on. We'll see. Yeah, maybe it was this one. Now, I agree. This does look... You can kind of tell it's fake. However, it's... Let me see. Yeah, just... When a free app that you can download for your phone is capable of doing this, it becomes no surprise when, for example, I don't know, let's do a Prince Louis. Let's see what actual moving images there are of Prince Louis. Right, now, let's bear in mind that the people that put this content together do a lot, they use a lot more sophisticated techniques than a free app that automatically does it. All these, I mean, these chairs, I know it's... Yeah, they could clearly be empty. They're kind of the right colour for a green screen. They're dark green. Probably one of the best colours for CGI in. I don't know. As I say, certainly wasn't at the Jubilee event, so I couldn't comment on those that were. But if you were there and you saw them all lined up like this, then well, okay. Oh, AJ says that's the Queen's double. Yep. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if it's even the Queen's double or actually not. It's the same one that was in the... Okay, so if that is the Queen's double, I doubt they got all of the actual real grandchildren to come in and sit round the double. I think they would have just, got the Photoshop copy and paste function out. Again, the picture quality that their camera produced, I mean, just how poor are these? I mean, what was someone doing? Taking it on like a 10-year-old phone? Look how glitchy or just low quality these images are. I find that one... Oh. That for me is always a giveaway. The pictures are always terrible quality. Just like this one of Kate, and Kate supposedly carrying Louis. And once again, terrible picture quality. You've got all sorts of artifacts on the screen. Almost as if the file has been messed around with so much that it's just corrupted all the detail in the pictures. I don't know, if you look closely, you can just see how blocky all these images are. Which, considering these are supposedly professional photographers that get these photos, I am surprised. I am very surprised. I would find it far more likely that maybe a model, you know, a double is walked down the street, and then in after production they just make them look a lot more realistic than they might do. And here's more of them. Yeah, they always make such a big deal of releasing these images. I want to confirm whether that is actually... Is Louis' birthday the same as the Queen's? Is that what they're saying? Because I know she obviously had 2 birthdays. Prince Louis birthday. Why doesn't that come up? When is Prince Louis' birthday? Do I really have to scroll down to find out when his birthday is? 22nd of April 2023. Okay. But he was born on the 23rd of April. So how were they able to, on the 22nd of April, put out a post with photos of... Okay, because they're not pictures of him on his birthday. I got it. They're just a load of old pictures they've put up. So when was Queen Elizabeth's birthday? (23rd of April). That would be surely no coincidence. 21st of April. They honour the late Queen's 97th birthday. Why don't they have just a... Because look, if I want to think of some random actor, I don't know. Normally they give you like an info box. When is Queen Elizabeth's birthday? 21st of April. Right, so they were a couple of days apart. Yeah, I mean, that does happen in families. Or, well, that happens in... People are born near each other, so... Wow, how unreal does the Queen look in this one? How far back does the deception go, though? We're not going to... Yeah, look at her in this. That does not look real to me. If it looks real to you, then fair play, but surely we must see that as a waxwork or something. No way is that remotely human. Unless, I won't jump to conclusions, perhaps this article is about a waxwork that they've put up in Madame Tussauds. No way is that a real human face. Be it 96-year-old or however she was when the picture was taken. That isn't legit. So, during her Platinum Jubilee celebrations in June. Okay. There is something very lifeless, and again, I remember the YouTuber Rob Skiba made some videos about the corridor, not the corridor of uncertainty, that's a cricket term. The Valley of the Uncanny Valley, that was it. I've mentioned it before, and yeah, credit to him, as he was the first place I actually heard about that. And it is the reaction people get to seeing artificial humans that look very lifelike but are not quite lifelike, and people can actually be repulsed by it. And I do believe that's what we see in a lot of cases with these, not only the royals but all sorts of celebrities. As I say, I do know people turn up to events and meet people and they're addressed as members of the royal family. Totally understand that. When this picture was taken, I would assume all these people would have needed to, turn up at the event. But who knows? Not to say it wasn't kind of still staged. Who knows? Yeah, plenty of content made about these people. Again, this shot, considering it's perfectly lined up, I mean the camera is right in front of them. How did it end up being such a not very good photo? I mean, it's pretty low quality, isn't it? I don't know. I would be disappointed if I took a photo and it came out as rubbish as this. I'd be like, oh, I need to sort my camera out. What's going on with that? Just seems to always happen with these images, though. Terrible picture quality. Let's see. Key events in the life of Queen Elizabeth II. Born April 21st. So 97 years and 2 days ago. Yeah, maybe, because again, this image is also ridiculously low quality as well. And yeah, we've looked at this image again. I think this was supposedly the last photo of her ever taken. Am I right? Or, and again, she looks, if that is the best picture they could have come up with, I think there must be a higher quality version of this photo. But it could so easily be photoshopped in. I would say, does that mean all images of royals are photoshopped? One image I did look at once before was that of, what was the guy's name? Let me see. It was Prince Andrew. And is it Jeffrey Epstein? And some of the images of them together don't quite look right to me. And I would 100% say they're photoshopped. Of course, I suggested that these two could be played by the same actor. Where are all the... I'm not actually finding the one I want, but there is one where their legs... the guy's jeans sort of seem see-through, but I'm wondering if they've probably cropped that out now. I'm not sure if I've still got the image. Yeah, so I mean, this production here then, Prince Andrew turns up and does an interview with a BBC journalist. Surely someone must have sat in the room for that interview, yeah? Right? You would assume so. I would certainly assume so. But they can do so much now with their CGI. Yeah, they look absolutely different in these shots, I agree. A lot of, big age difference between them though. Does anyone see a resemblance? Perhaps you don't. Perhaps it's just me. Again, we'd have to go to my channel and I'd try and... Oops, what happened there? And I'll try and find it. Where is it? Prince Andrew. This one. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but there are a few... is a bit where the... Let's see. Where the jeans... You know, you could pass it off as it being like a sun... Hang on, where are we? We'll get there in a minute. Yeah, they both had almost identical clothes on. Yeah, this is the image, and funnily enough, it is one that I can't actually find now when I search for these images. It's, yeah, we do zoom in on it in a minute, but yeah, see their legs, one behind the other? Is it just me, or... You know, is that not clearly supposed to be Andrew's legs behind that of Jeffrey Epstein? So why is it showing through his trouser leg? Who knows? I'll have to put a link in the description. I'll put it in the live chat if anyone wants to watch this video for themselves. It's a bit out there. Not everyone may massively agree. Actually, we are kind of at the point now where we might go to the intermission. If you guys can give me, like, I think the video we've got to play is about 6 minutes. I'll also put this in... Right. My Andrew/Epstein. Yeah, I'm going to put this link also in the description of tonight's video if you don't have access to the live chat. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, and when we come back, we will finish the stream. Let's see, what are we watching on the break? This is my video about Elsa Hosk. One thing, however, in the first couple of minutes is some what they might call nudity. So how long does the video go on for? Hang on a second. It is a 7-minute video. I'm tempted to put up something to censor it because it did get the video classed as an 18 only, which I wouldn't want really to happen to this stream because it's difficult to crop out. I think you can do it, but let's see. I might just skip the... Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should play a different one. Let's see. Yeah, we probably still have a... AJ says, Lewis... Oh, greetings to Tone Down in the live chat. Thanks for tuning in. Talk about a new ditty. I'm confused. And AJ says Lewis and James are the Queen's grandchildren, I guess. Huh. Right. Okay. Before we do head to our intermission, which is in which I'll leave you with my video from 2020. I would invite anyone who enjoys what they've watched so far, and if they want to show their appreciation, to hit the thumbs up button before they leave tonight. Also, subscribing and sharing on social media is always massively appreciated. Another way you can support the channel is by checking me out over on patreon.com/BZLive. There is also, again, a link in the description to that if you want to do that. And I would like to show my thanks and appreciation to Linda Mack and Midnight Scribbler, who support me over on Patreon. Also, as always, thanks to Nathan Oakley and Skeptic936 for also supporting this channel. So, yeah, I hope you can join us after the intermission. which, as I said, is about 7 minutes long. Some of the footage you might say is a bit risque, full frontal nudity, but it's not as it seems, and that's exactly why I have to play it. I need to play this video for educational purposes. Okay, let's see. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Thanks so far, of course, to Mudlark, AJ, Tone Dial, Guidance Code, Midnight Scribbler, and Nathan Oakley and Jeff Gashead for taking the time to comment in the live chat. If anyone has come across any footage that they think is worth watching, then I invite you to suggest it in the live chat. Then, yeah, please do. Mudlock says, you think Harry and Meghan's children don't exist? Yeah, totally agree with you. But what does that mean about Harry and Meghan, though? Does that mean that they are nothing like what we've been led to believe they are? That's the only a suspicion I have. Okay, I will be back with you in 5 minutes, and then we will play out the last of the live stream. We will be finishing no later than midnight tonight. I did start a little bit late, so I will play on a little bit. Okay, thanks everyone for tuning in. I will be back with you in 5 minutes or so. See you soon. Victoria's Secret's fallen angel Elsa Host's Instagram page showing a visible baby bump. Until we see video from the same shoot. Where's that bump gone? Hi everyone, now another day, another fake pregnancy, and this time it's being promoted by the Daily Mail. It would seem that the majority of newspaper stories are actually just an advert, either promoting a product, a person, and their social media account, or an agenda or a fake event, but one way or another, it's an advert. Victoria's Secret angel, Elsa Hosk. Now, we can stop right there and say Victoria's Secret models do indeed have a secret. It's good to see that an awful lot of people seem to be aware of it now. Any Victoria's Secret model claiming that they're pregnant are lying, because it's not possible for one of those people to conceive, of course. The expecting 31-year-old and her British beau originally put the 1750 square foot 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo on the market on September 24th. And then it says, Elsa, who boasts 6.4 million Instagram followers, wrote. Now this is where it turns into an advert. Like I say, they like to promote these people's Instagram account because they're big revenue generators for these celebrities. If they're seen endorsing a product, just have a look at this. And the Daily Mail get right behind endorsing the same product. Hoskin listed Roadway Moving, founded by Ross Sapir in 2008, to help them safely move their furniture and boxes in a professional, thorough, fast and nice way. Nice little plug there for this removal team. And then we look down and we see photos of Elsa posing by the van in a video. This is pregnant Elsa dancing, gyrating, swinging around. No problem that she's pregnant, that's fine. Just keep moving like that. Of course, the heavily pregnant woman is always going to do that. So we'll have a look at her Instagram account and see if there's any peculiarities. I'm not sure how heavily pregnant she is, but one thing can be sure, she is either using a moon bump, or she's using prednisone to make her stomach bloat, or she's literally just sticking her tummy out. I mean, first of all, we'll look at this picture. There's a couple of them. Now, is it just me, or does her stomach look the wrong colour? Could it be she attempted to buy a moon bump, and yet they didn't have it in the correct flesh colour, so she just went with a brown one, and hoped that the team responsible for her Instagram account would Photoshop it, like they do with the rest of her pictures. Quite sure, unless that's a really tight-fitting t-shirt she might be wearing. Okay, this one. In this picture, you can clearly see a very pronounced bump. The tummy's sticking right out. Another picture from that photo shoot. Yeah, you can still see the bump a bit. And then we go to live images. Where's that bump gone? Not even there. I mean, okay, she's got a bit of fat on her tummy, but nothing like the original picture we saw. Does that? So, from my book, that shows they're clearly manipulating something. Here we are, a great big bump in the still image. Where does that go in the live footage? No idea, but that is not the same bump. Yeah, a lot of these pictures, they do look like she is literally just sticking her tummy out. I say her in the loosest possible way. Like this one, for example. Yeah, when she's laid flat on the sofa, no bump whatsoever. Interesting how it keeps appearing and disappearing. And here's another picture taken 5 weeks ago, and the bump's vanished again, and then it reappears. Vanished, reappears. Fake pregnancy 101. Elsa Husk blatantly faking her pregnancy. Can't be more clear about that one. Actually, whilst I was looking for this paper, I came across Bumpsuit. It's a new maternity brand beloved by the most stylish celebs. Yeah, it is. I mean, I think the word Bumpsuit says it all. Just curious how the article starts. Again, another advert for probably a clothing line. This year has been grueling to say the least, but in the midst of all the uncertainty, there have been months of tremendous happiness. Yes, such thing existed in 2020, and for many of us, this came in the form of all the celebrity pregnancies and babies that have flooded our social feeds. From Emily Ratajkowski and Elsa Hosk to Hannah Bronfman and Hilary Roda, some of our favourite style setters have posted shots of their growing bellies, beaming in the cheekest maternity fashions by Bumpsuit. Yeah, I bet there's a bump in your suit, love, and it's nothing to do with a pregnancy. Are they basically saying that they're ordering clothes that are just padded out to make them look pregnant? They promote the maker of this Bumpsuit range of clothes, Trufio, whoever this person is. Hilary Roda is, I think, the person's name. They certainly seem to be linked to this. What would an Instagram pregnancy be without someone doing some ridiculously unrealistic exercises? Guys, if you are subscribed to any celebrities on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and they're sharing these pregnancy bumps, yeah, don't buy it for a second. No matter how real they can make it look. Look a bit closer, scratch the surface, and you can always see they're wearing a bump suit. Basically a suit kitted out with a bump. Alright, any comments or questions you have on this are always welcome. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching. Okay, welcome back to the stream, and thank you for your patience if you stuck with us through our short break. Greatness to Susan Byrne, who's joined the live chat. Yeah, sorry we're running so late, and good to see you back in the live chat, Susan. I know you let me know you haven't been able to tune in for a bit, so it is always, yeah, it's good to see all of you, actually. I do really appreciate you guys commenting in the chat. I am still inviting people to suggest any what possible new alerts we might get coming our way. Have the government literally just turned our phones into a load of, you know, like a new Twitter feed, basically, for all that crap they want to tell us about. Because they'll always force it down your throat one way or another. Oh my goodness, what have I done? Right. I just switched on vertical tabs on my on the web browser, and it completely threw me off. We've got a few images to look at before we go. I did actually come across quite a interesting article from Sky News. It was. Let me just see if I can find it again. Where was it? I just wanted to inspect it a little bit on tonight's stream. If it's Sky News, you can usually be pretty sure things may not be as they seem. Right, it's just playing an ad out a minute. So once that finishes, I'll go back to sharing my screen. Let's see. Yeah, we'll be going for probably another, at the most, 20 minutes, half an hour. Okay, here we have, warning, video contains images of a man being assaulted by 4 attackers. That's very concise warning there. Is this video as it seems? I'm actually going to give you audio for this one, because it may look bad, it may look nasty, but just think WWE wrestling. One suspicion I have is that in a lot of cases these people are moving at half speed, particularly during the attack. I would say they've they're just doing everything in slow motion almost, and they've speeded things up after. Here we can see someone very easily breaking into, I think it might be a Mercedes or something they say at the end. Car wasn't even locked. How did... Right, up here in the top corner, just under the advert for Ring.com. By the way, what sort of Ring doorbell is it that you put up? I mean, okay, I suppose someone maybe thought, I'll just use it as a surveillance camera. Or why do you even... Normally Ring doorbells are at your door, not hovering above your driveway. But perhaps these people want to do things different. Do you see how easy it was? Sorry, I'll let you know the name of this video. Man fights off 4 assailants in attacking carjacker. As we're using their content, I will just share a link to anyone that wants to see it for themselves. Sky News vid, and I will of course put a link to this video in the description. Yeah, Midnight suggested an emergency alert, letting you know that you are a homosexual, although I would actually suggest it might go the other way and say, warning, you are basically, you know what, your phone's no doubt listening on you, and if they hear that your child comes to you and says, oh, they taught me today at school that I can be, I don't know if it's a boy, I could be a girl if I want, and you say to them, look, it doesn't matter how you dress, what hormones you take, what treatment, what doctor you can find to cut off healthy parts of your body, you are what you are. Then your phone suddenly jumps in and says, warning, you are committing hate crime. But anyway, yes, so we'll just go back to this Sky News video and just look how easy this car full of people comes out. Oh right, hang on, went too far I think. This kid runs up, no problem whatsoever, just open that door. I'm sure it's not locked. How they knew this car door had been left left unlocked. Yeah, easy, just get in the passenger side, no problem. Oh, maybe the alarm's going off, perhaps they've already broke into it. A homeowner approached a person who appeared to be trying to steal his car. What is actually weird about this is, look how glitchy it is, by the way. We've just paused it there. And, okay, maybe Ring doorbell cam, not the best quality camera. But for me, this is a sign that this is just CGI. In that you can see blocking out very easy. So that for me would be a first clue. He then gets into a scuffle. Remember, could it be now? I do wonder actually if you just saw a cut in the film there. I don't know. They do cut the film once. Again, look how blocky he is. What's going on? This man is surrounded by blocks almost constantly. Not sure why. There we go. It's not like any moving part, you know, anything moving is blocky. It just seems to be him, whereas all the rest of them. And yet also the way that the audio's picked up. Oh, okay, maybe the blocks were there because they were hiding the face of the assailant or him, who knows. Yeah, I would say this is all acted out for me. Just well, probably many reasons. They would look at this WWE move, professional wrestling, get him on your shoulder, and it was very relaxed for someone. You know, if you look at how they scuffle on the floor, there isn't really any attempts to hurt each other. He actually carries him back and makes sure he lands back on his feet. You see, puts him up down again. And they're trying to steal this guy's car. Okay, you're on top of him now. Why don't one of you try and, you know, hotwire it or whatever it is you were originally going to do? I don't understand that. Instead, no, let's all just keep continuing this beating. Okay, what do we always see in a lot of, well, I say always, what do we very often see in these stories? And that is shoes coming off, people losing their shoes. One, you know, along with bottles of water. And yeah, they... Again, someone else comes up. Is anyone actually going to try stealing this car? All it takes... Terrible audio. Someone shouting out, "Get lost, I'm calling the cops." And that on its own is enough to make these people completely forget about the car they were trying to steal and just run for it in the car that they themselves, bear in mind, don't they say, like, you know, the most security conscious are thieves themselves? Well, look how they've just abandoned their own car in the middle of the road with the doors wide open. What is wrong with people on this street? Why is everyone just leaving their doors wide open? I don't know. But yeah, this guy left his car unlocked. These people have left their car. And they just jump straight back in.
Yes, where's...
Oh, they're blocking out. He's got a advertisement on his t-shirt. So they actually originally squeezed in a bit of product placement. But as the company didn't originally pay Sky News, they were going to blur it out. I expect there is other...
They just try to grab our car.
This is, of course, in America. But yeah, Sky had taken it.
It's a Mercedes. And they're peeling out. Sorry.
I would be interested to know who owns the actual copyright to this. It would appear maybe Ring.com do. Doesn't look too bad, does he? Just been attacked by 4 kids. And barely even a scratch on him. Yeah, download the latest Sky News app to get... Yeah, one assailant appears to take off his shoe and use it as a weapon. Ingenious. How absolutely ridiculous. But that is the sort of thing we get from Sky News. It does seem to be, any time they give you a warning like this, it's generally a load of garbage. Yeah, I would like to see another, an actual news report about this. It says Connecticut. So let's see if we can find an actual written... Is it spelled Connecticut? I'd never realised that. Connecticut carjacking. Let's see if there's... Or is it all just videos? Is that all we're going to get from it? I want to know if any of the numbers come up. Of course, every media outlet decided to take on... Bear in mind, people have their cars stolen in vicious attacks fairly regularly. For every single news outlet to take this on. Apparently Fox News owns the copyright to this video, which is interesting. An unidentified man. Okay, so we don't even have a name for the man, unfortunately. Four men who were attempting a broad daylight carjacking on April the 10th, around 7 p.m. Okay. According to Fox News... Oh, why can't we get rid of that advert? Right, yeah, they don't give us too much information on anything that happened, like the ages or any of the usual numbers that you see. How do we get rid of that? Right. Eventually, the group of 4 carjackers rushes back to a black Mercedes to get away from the man. Well, no, that's not the reason they did it. They did it because someone shouted out the window, "I'm calling the police." And then any thoughts of breaking into someone's car. They never broke into the car. We've had our car broken into. Well, that didn't happen on this occasion. Law enforcement is currently seeking the suspects. The incident is being investigated by the Rocky Hill Police Department. Let's see. Is that one worthy of a look? It's a 27, Rocky. The 2 words together. 27. So Rocky Hill is a 27 in Chaldean, and Rocky on its own is a 27 in Pythagorean. Whatever 27 means, who knows? But it is one number that comes up in this story. We have a lot of tools at our disposal, and we could try to follow up or locate these suspects. And I know it's very difficult when you see people break into cars. Well, that didn't happen. The car was left unlocked for these kids just to go in anyway. And once a man came out, they realised, oh, we're not here to break into the car anymore. We're here to beat this guy up. Forget all about, I know there's 4 of us, but rather than actually try and steal the car, we'll just do this fight. In perfect view of the cameras. That is also worth mentioning. That what an excellent shot it was. Okay. Was there any other stories that we were gonna cover tonight? I did see another one about some celebrities, or OK, have mentioned, I'm guessing Jordan and Naomi Banjo are celebrities. Never heard of them myself, but their baby made it into OK magazine, so I guess it's a big deal. Yeah, always they put this crap on Instagram, without fail. Let's watch it. Is it music?
My own.
Yep. Again, who... Well, okay, whatever. Yeah, no problem. Again, who has... I don't know. Is this a professional photographer or film crew they invited to their pregnancy? Look at that baby as well. Oh, I can't do close-ups like that. Let's see. Again, just looks a bit odd. Doesn't quite cut the mustard, you could say. One common ingredient in a lot of these fake pregnancies is on Instagram they'll put an image of the baby clutching the adult hands. You'll also see it will always have a headdress on. Okay, will this baby have a headdress? Okay, a hat then. And all these balloons around it. That looks pretty much like a production to me, but... And here they are. Okay, when did they give birth? Because that baby seems to be just supporting its head, no problem. Okay, they took to Instagram on the 23rd of April to share the happy news with fans. A black and white picture of Naomi holding their baby son in hospital. Would you really do that with a newborn baby? Just let its head flop down onto its chin? I'm going to say no, you probably wouldn't. Because babies' necks are incredibly fragile and they don't just support themselves like that. I'm going to call that... Look, even shaking their head around? Nah, full of crap. Full of rubbish. Just like Jake Quickenden's baby videos. We could go on their Instagram account just to see. Again, 23rd of April. They love their numbers. And £8, 8 ounces. Double eights. The moniker is primarily a male name and is of Greek origin. Atreus means fearless and brave according to babynames.com. I bet it's the name of like a Greek god. I'm guessing Atreus was a Greek... Yep, here we go. In Greek mythology, Atreus was king of Mycenae in the Peloponnese, father of Agamemnon and Menelaus. He was also the name of an asteroid and a video game character in God of War. Naomi and Jordan were inundated with congratulatory messages after sharing their happy news on Instagram, with fellow celebs flocking to... Right, I bet on their Instagram account we'll see loads of emojis, okay? Just page after page of emojis congratulating these people. Let's see, what's their name? Ashley Banjo. I imagine they've got one each. Insta. Okay. I'm sure they'll... Right, maybe it's on the other one's Instagram account. Actually, what was the name of the other one? Diversity Official. I don't even know who this is. I mean, I just came across these people. What was the actual name of them? Naomi Banjo, right. There we go. Okay. Right. Now, let's just have a little look at this tummy that she's proudly showing off. Is there anything a bit odd about that, considering what we are going to see in a minute in a video? Remember that tummy, okay? Perfectly clear. Unless she's got a very flesh-coloured tight top on. That's the belly button, okay? I won't say anything on regards to that yet, because I don't need to. Remember this belly button, okay? Or remember that stomach in general. How long's this video going for? Yeah, just her posing in the camera. All celebrities do this with a big smile on their face. Just video that. And in fact, if you look at the colour of her arms, completely different skin colour to the bump actually, but whatever. Okay, remember that stomach. This was on the 14th of April, so it's presumably a week or so ago. And then when we see her, the video, where is that video? I'm not... Yeah, this is them going off to the hospital, of course. See, she's suddenly got this big seam going down her tummy. Well, where was that, like, in the last... Where was that? 10 days ago? Who knows? Right. We are starting to come to the end of our stream, so I am going to start wrapping up in a minute. Before we do, let's see, was there any other subjects we were going to cover? Probably not. Of course, I will be back again in the coming days. Let me just bring up what should hopefully be our schedule. The next one, Tuesday mornings, I do try to do streams. I don't manage Tuesday every week, but for the last few weeks I have done more than a few weeks now. I am now regularly doing Thursday evening live streams, so if I don't make it Tuesday, I will certainly be back on Thursday night, and then again Sundays at 10. I hope you're in a position to join us for that. Before we go, I'll tell you what we'll do. There was some suggestions for what alerts we might get. Let me just bring that up. What was it? It was suggested you this is one I wouldn't be too surprised to see at some point. Hang on, where is it? Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a ping hit your phone saying you are using hate speech. We're recording your voice is now being recorded for possible future future prosecution. Sorry. Once we get to 11:30, I do start switching down, so I am gonna have to finish things here. I will indulge Midnight's suggestion, who suggested you may end up getting a one like this. Yeah, what kind of gave me the idea for suggesting alerts was that I saw someone had put one up saying it was warning Prince Andrew in area, because yeah, I'm sure it's not just Prince. I'm sure any of those people would be worthy of a warning. But that was just one that I saw. Okay, before we wrap up for the night. Hang on 1 second, sorry. Let me just check things are playing back all right. I haven't lost connection. Bear with me 1 second. Nope, seems to be working all right. And yeah, that is probably where we're going to leave it. I do have a very short video to play out with that I did back in September 2021 when we were first made aware that when they first came around and said that they were going to do an emergency alert, I did make a video about it then, and that was the reason why I didn't see one happening this time, because it didn't happen last time. But so yeah, I will leave you with that. It's only a couple of minutes long. As I've said I may possibly be back Tuesday morning. I will certainly be back Thursday evening, if not. And I want to thank, before I go, Jeff Gashead, who's saying goodnight, Midnight Scribbler, AJ Wild, Susan Byrne, KG, Mudlark Digging at the Thames, Tone Dial, and Guidance Code, as well as Nathan Oakley. And if I've missed anyone, my apologies. Please leave a comment and I'll make sure I give you the shout out you deserve, because I do hugely appreciate you guys joining me on these live streams and holding my hand as I step into the world of mainstream media. It's not a nice place. It's not a place any of us should spend too much time. And don't go alone. Make sure you've got some critical you cast a critical eye over it. Don't just take it what we're reading as read. Must be true, because I heard it on the news. That does not work. Okay, I'm going to leave you with the video emergency alert of September 20. Wow, I've got that wrong. I said 2001, it was 2021. Let me just correct that. And it's only a couple of minutes. Once it plays out, then we will be ending the stream. Before we go, actually, I would like to just remind you, before you leave, if you want to hit the thumbs up button, that is always appreciated. And also, why not check out my content on patreon.com/BZlive, where I would thank Midnight Scribbler and Linda Mack for supporting me over there. Also, big thanks to Skeptic936 and Nathan Oakley for their support of this channel. And with that, we are going to say goodnight. Okay, big thanks for watching. Enjoy my content from September 2021, and I'll be back soon. Good night. Hi everyone, and the last couple of live streams that I've done, a few commenters have made reference to an emergency alert app